Hit it.
I think so.
All right, I'll call to order the City of Tipton Plan Commission. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Excuse me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We will start with roll call from the left, please.
Jackie Carmen,
Jason Dickerson.
Mike Benjamin.
Rich Beltoff.
Mike Bowman.
Michelle Owens,
Holly McGuire.
Judy Coker staff.
David Smith, staff.
Master staff.
All right, and we do have a quorum tonight. Do we have any modifications to the agenda?
Staff would like to request that you place the adoption of the 2026 schedule under new business.
Absolutely. We can do that. You all have that. Judy, you sent that to everyone already, right?
I emailed it, yes,
Today,
and then
okay.
have provided it.
Yep. And we have it in our packets. We will do that under new
Correct.
business. No problem. Then moving into approval of minutes from November 13th. Any changes from the electronic ones?
There have been no changes.
Thank you.
I move to approve the minutes as written.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michelle. All in favor of approving the minutes from November 13th, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Minutes are approved. We have no public hearings tonight. We have no staff reports, correct? Right?
None from staff.
Nothing, okay. That moves us into our old business, which is discussion of the UDO. As you guys remember from last time, this is not a public hearing. This is still discussion to get hopefully to a public hearing. I would like to say, from my personal perspective, let's make sure we're moving this forward. The steps forward are discussion, getting it where we want it, then advertising and having a public hearing, and then making a recommendation to the city council. And that can be a recommendation for, no recommendation, or recommendation against. We need to do that at a public hearing though. So tonight is just to hopefully finalize what's in front of us and get to that. We had some emails going around, and HWC brought kind of a, what do you call it, an errata sheet of kind of a summary of the emails and some other changes. Jason, you had some I'll call them technical
Yes.
changes that I will trust that are right and true and what we need to be.
I think the JVC is fine with that.
Yep. So if, we also had some changes to the map. We had some changes for clarity. I did speak with Brian today about some other changes in the map that we hadn't emailed about, and we'll want to discuss those and make sure, those fly as well with everyone. So does anybody have any? If nobody has anything specific, we can just go straight down HWC's list and then open it up from there, if that's all right. So,
I had a couple of questions.
yes, ma'am.
When I was reading over it, it was talking about short-term rentals. Does that include Airbnbs? That includes Airbnbs. And the other one I had was about tiny homes. Where do they fall as far as residential? Where would they fall?
Let me pull the ordinance up here. Brian Scott with HWC. So I jumped over here to chapter 2. This is 2.3, all the residential districts together. If you look at the development standards table for the district, we have based off the type of home, we have a minimum living area square foot, and that's the minimum square footage here. So if someone is seeking a tiny home,
Right.
in order to do that, they would have to get a variance, a development standards variance to the standards in the table.
But then they could end up in like an R1 or an R2, or they can end up in any residential.
Yeah. Well, to that end, we have, let me jump to
Do you mean as, well, yeah, as he's getting to that, do you mean as an accessory, as in they have a tiny home in their backyard of their existing home, or just tiny home, period?
Yeah, so, yeah, the important,
Well, it's an ADU.
there's, okay, because there's an important distinction there between whether it's the primary building. So if it's the primary building on the lot, then it would have to get a development standards variance for to the square footage,
Okay.
where I just was.
Right.
Where it's located. And so they would have to show what is the practical difficulty of why they could not meet the standards of the ordinance. So why can't they build the size of home that's required? And so the burden would be on them to prove that. And typically it's tied to a condition of the site or something of that nature.
Okay, so they would only be able to do an ADU.
So correct. And this is the accessory dwelling unit section is up here on the screen. This is in chapter 4. And an accessory dwelling requires special exception approval through the Board of Zoning Appeals.
So not saying it's impossible, I think, Jackie, but we got to go through some channels and some hoops. Was that all?
I had one more question about, when you're talking about home-based businesses.
Mhm.
So you're talking about like bakeries and that kind of thing?
It tends to be smaller that are, it doesn't change the character of the neighborhood and things. So this would be, tends to be more office uses that are just done in your house.
Okay. Because I had read that it couldn't have, you couldn't have like a lot of extra traffic or that kind
Exactly.
of thing that would cause.
Yes.
Okay, so how would we go about deciding, who decides whether we can have one or not at their home? Because I know there's people in Tipton that are doing that.
Mhm.
And so then there's people going to their houses to pick up stuff.
Yeah.
in
And so.
Residential areas, so.
So they're permitted, and this section here has the standards for as far as employees
Right.
and parking and things of that nature. To that extent, I think that you're getting in a situation where the standards to a certain extent act as a nuisance. If there is a nuisance that's being created, and they're not in line with the standards, then the city can provide enforcement on that. But we're not, there are no like permits to have a home occupation or things like that. They're a permitted accessory use from the house, but you've got to meet the standards that are in here.
Right. Okay.
So if all of a sudden you've got a bakery that's getting lots of deliveries and you've got people coming, clearly there's a point, and it's not a clear line, unfortunately, it's not a black and white world, but there's a point where at some point it's a business in a residential area, and
Right.
it has its effects or impacts on the neighborhood.
Right. That's all the questions I have.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move right into chapter 2 here with zoning districts.
Also, be a radish as well.
Yep. So we had, looks like more of a, we call it a truing up. The charts, chapter 2, page 4, don't match the words. So we're going with the charts there that up to 1.5 dwelling units per acre. And then on R2, it's up 4 units per acre. The chart that we had matched that, the text did not.
And the other change there is, in chapter 2 is section 2.5, the industrial districts, we had a typo.
Yep.
The industrial, labeled I1 should be I2.
Everybody okay with those changes? Any discussion there? Okay. Chapter 3, this is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Could you go back to chapter 2.3?
Yeah.
Bring that back up.
You know, and pull the ordinance.
Right. In regards to R5, when it comes to the garage setback, if I'm not mistaken, it's 5 feet.
Yes. That's your little page. So what you'll see here on this development standards table, typically the front setback is, the garage is a little bit less than the garage setback. So for the most part, the garage setback tends to be 5 feet. behind the front setback. And that gives them flexibility to, we're trying not to have the garage dominate the front of the building.
Mhm.
Obviously, they could choose to set the home back further on the lot. So the setbacks here for a garage door facing a street,
Mhm.
we always keep that at least 20 feet. So you get a car there,
Mhm.
before in front of the garage door. R5 is your most intense or urban residential apartments, things of that nature. So in that situation, you typically have parking lots, things of that nature, and so that's why this is 5'7".
Okay.
I have it here if you want to see, if it's easier to,
No,
that's great.
okay.
Do we need to make any changes there, you feel, or?
Well, I just wonder if 5 feet is a little too close. That's it.
I think that's a valid question too. I
But
remember,
R5 is like,
Yeah, so this would be like having a alley loaded house, things of that nature. You're typically dealing with that level of density.
So in such a consideration, having a 5-foot garage, or garage 5 feet back from.
you're in the garage or you're not, and you're not in front of it,
Mhm.
right? If you're not in it, you're parking elsewhere. And I look at R5, that we have on our map, and it's, it's Canterbury, it's all that. I can't remember that neighborhood, but the apartments, right?
this is that road.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Hartwick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Side setback. But, and then the minimum side setback is 5 feet as well.
Which with an apartment building, they're usually pretty tight.
Would you have a suggestion?
The width of a car front to back would be what, 5 feet, approximately 7.
Mhm.
So a little bit further than 5 feet, just so that we know that if a car can be there, so that you don't have to back from you. You have a truck,
21 feet.
your truck hanging out the back of it 5 feet. So you basically have half of yours sitting within the driveway.
Mhm.
And the other,
Let's park it at your house.
park at that angle in the grass. Just
Yeah,
the width of a car, the length of, I guess, the
Mhm.
length of a car.
Mhm.
No, I understand what you're saying. Typically, I assume it's 5 feet, that's why it's 5
Yeah.
feet here.
Be a really small car for 5 feet.
Yeah, the Fiat.
Really small
Yeah.
car.
I'm not saying it can't be done.
Yeah.
You know,
Does
7.
anybody else have any recommendations from 5 to 7, or what are your feelings?
I mean, did it change from when those buildings were created? Like, has it changed,
There's
or it's
really
not
not.
affecting them because there's not garages there? Like, what's the?
Right, it's really only the apartments, the Canterbury and all like that.
But this-
That are
I don't,
R5.
I don't think what you're envisioning here though is having a driveway.
Right. Tend to be, where you find this is the setback of the garage from the alley.
So I don't think,
Because once you're down to essentially a 50-foot wide lot or smaller, they tend to be alley loaded, and that's where this comes.
yeah, so I don't think he's envisioning, or the ordinance is envisioning that you'll park your car there in the setback.
In that 5.
I think
Yeah.
it's just that you'll pull into your garage and then back out like off of an alley or apartments. I don't think it's meant to be a driveway.
Yeah,
Correct.
Exactly. Yeah. So the other districts are 1 through 4, except where you're parking from the garage. But in R5, just given the nature and the density of it.
Yeah, and
So
the-
Rich, if your
And-
truck
and
is
this is-
21 feet long, your garage better be
What
22.
makes it
That's, you
confusing
know.
is it says street.
the door
Yeah,
facing.
but I
Minimum setback garage door facing a street.
Not an alley.
A street or alley or something like that,
Only in an R5.
Only in
Right.
R5. Everywhere else,
which
it's
you're probably
20.
not going to have a driveway there
Right.
anyway.
You know,
You'll be,
Right.
have a parking lot.
Right.
Yeah, it's 20, 25, or 35, which Rich, you just stay out of R4 and you'll be fine.
Okay.
And I think the setbacks are more for keeping you off the property line, keeping your runoff off of your neighbor's property, that kind of thing. It's not for you to park your car, I don't think.
You okay with that, Mike?
But you can make it whatever you want.
The only
Just
thing
saying.
that I would say is whether it is the intentions of us to have a car park there or not,
It doesn't mean-
the individual
Well,
won't.
True, but that's where enforcement comes in and
We
you
would also
call a
be-
police officer because they're parked in the alley.
Yeah, we would also be enforcing, you can't park there
Mhm.
because you only
You
have
can't
5
park
feet.
at Canterbury L. and-
Yep.
Just like now, you can't park blocking a sidewalk. You
Right.
can't, those are, and people do
They
it,
do it every
but you
day.
can't legislate for everything.
But I understand the human nature you're dealing with, right? Because someone's gonna take that 5 feet and try and,
Run
park
with
there
it.
between the, alley and.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's gonna be the
would you
one.
want to do 10 feet?
I'll call.
And I'm just thinking, because typical cars, 7 feet wide or so. That way, someone's gonna, if they, instead, they're a 2-car garage, they
Parallel in
pull
front of
in
it.
parallel to the door, that would keep them out of that area.
and just for sake of conversation though, then if we did have a community that, or, a builder that wanted to come in to build an R5 and they wanted that setback to then, if it's at 10 and they want it to be 5, then, it's something that we can discuss, right? And make changes to. So if it, if somebody were to come with a development and say, we've got to change this line item, then that would be up for discussion.
Yep.
So I don't know that it makes a difference if it's 7 or 10
Right,
at that point.
right. Maybe you can make changes later on down the line, but having it just immediately set out as 5, I think you'd have a lot of people. who
So in
would
R5,
like
you
to-
may not be working with a lot of green space anyway.
Mhm.
To a few feet can make a lot of, because this is high density.
Mhm.
And so they're not necessarily smaller lots, but they're certainly more.
Compact.
Mhm.
Right.
So those, just a few feet can make a big difference. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd recommend, just for clarity, I'd recommend 10, as far as changing it to 10, just so it lines up with the other setbacks.
Just
for the
be-
districts and things.
Okay.
That way, it's the same as the front and rear setback.
Mike, would you be good with 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Would anybody not be okay with changing that to a 10-foot setback? We don't need a motion for that, right? We can.
No,
Yep. All right. Well, then we'll make R5 minimum setback for garage doors 10 feet. Okay. Anything else? Chapter 2? 4? Okay. Chapter 3, I just had a thing on the permitted use table. The recycling plant scrap processor, it's permitted as written. I'd like to change that to a special exception, so at least it has to come before somebody starts building a aluminum recycling plant in I-2 without going through something. Any discussion there? We all okay with that? Okay. Anything in chapter 4, chapter 3? Chapter 5, this comes from Jason, discussing drainage, that it needs to be reviewed by the surveyor. I think he just wants more work. And drainage boards as necessary. Is that like a state requirement? Something like that?
Big Cicero does, extend, it's kind of a unique situation, because Big Cicero does extend over the entire footprint of the city of Tipton, so any of the development that goes in there, and they've enforced their watershed standards, which the city has similar already. And, and we do, the only time in the last couple of years, I can even remember when the Tipton County Drainage Board had to be involved was when they rerouted the tile over near the Sheriff's Department. So they're just listed in there. The whole thing is just to kind of work with the city and the city engineer, who will also be doing reviews to make sure that they sign up on it. Yeah.
We have something similar in the current ordinance. I believe. Yes.
Yeah,
So
as
it's-
for instance, Mike, there was already a review done on the proposed baseball field, things like that. So.
Yeah. Okay, we're codifying what's existing and
Yes.
making sure it gets done the proper way.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess Jason's proposed changes to 5, 7, and 8 are just, they have to do it anyway, but this is putting it in writing so that
They know they have to do it
Correct.
before.
It's a customer service thing, to a certain
Yes,
extent.
yes.
It's
Right.
making them aware that they've got to get this approved.
Yes.
Anything on 5, 6, 7, 8 from anybody else? Chapter 9, we had revision.
Skip all those chapters?
I'm sorry,
Those are all chapters?
chapter 5, 6, 7,
Yeah,
8.
I've
Yes.
got something specific.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah.
7.2.
Okay. The ordinance.
On divisions of land, I think my just is this, the second bullet point, division of land pursuant to an allocation of land settling to a court decree. I think that's a holdover from law that doesn't exist anymore,
Oh, okay.
and would also suggest that the court doesn't have the right to zone. The zoning board has the right to zone
Okay.
and set the ordinances. Because, you know, you look at theoretically, the court can have a bunch of feuding relatives and take a 2-acre parcel and divide it into 10 pieces between 10 heirs. And we say, that's an exception
Then we have a bunch of little postage
because
stamps.
it's not required to physically divide that property to allocate the interest. Where before it was possible under court, but that's not the way partition works now.
Okay.
I would just eliminate the whole thing.
Okay.
Under the way partition works now, you know, they either divide it if it's big enough. If it can't be big enough, then there's a process to allocate it, but the courts we don't want the court to be trying to decide whether or not they're following our zoning ordinance or not.
I'm going to trust that you know absolutely what you're talking about there. I don't have a clue, but anybody else have any? Everybody okay with getting rid of the second dot there?
The
All
reason
right.
I'm saying is when you make it exempt.
It makes sense. Absolutely.
It's gone. It's completely
Yep.
off the radar.
Yep.
And
So be it. 7.2, dot number 2 is gone. Any others there, David?
No,
Chapter 9. We're going to revise the text in 9.7 to get rid of the city court and affect the county circuit court. One question I had on this was, is that going to tick off the county court dealing with all of, if there is a volume
But
there?
that's where, this is, if you sue someone, that's where it goes.
Okay.
That's the appropriate court.
All right, what did? Yes, you probably
it's
don't.
the only court.
We have, right?
And it's how it currently is
Okay.
in the zoning ordinance.
And who's do you even know who's gonna be issuing the citations?
Well, it's the administrator, which is.
I'd say, Mr. Mayor, if you want to,
Clerk treasurer.
The clerk is gonna be the enforcement?
No, she'll issue.
Page is it?
Code enforcement officer will do the citation.
Right.
And then the deputy clerk treasurer actually sends the invoice penalty to the property owner, the offender.
Is it still gonna be complaint based?
Initially, for the short term, but we're building out a tool to be more self-serve.
Okay. Thank you.
okay.
There
Okay.
are multiple places that.
Yes, there are, and
That's the that's the only place I saw city court in the document.
I know I saw it somewhere, more than once. But,
Right, can we
We'll
do it?
double check.
Okay,
yep,
thank you.
yep. Before we move to the zoning map, I want to jump down to the open space requirements, just so we don't change what we're looking at.
Okay, examples. for them. Okay, so in the chapter that deals with improvements in subdivision open space, there's a certain percentage of open space that's required. And then in order to qualify for that open space, you can't just take things that you need, like a pond, and say, oh, there's our open space, right? The intent of the open space requirement is to actually create gathering spaces in the community or amenities for the community. And so we've got 4 different things that qualify for site features. I've got examples for each of these, but just a quick overview of them. Number 1 is that a maximum of 50% of the required open space can come from wetlands, third-party regulated utility easements, in other words, an easement where you've got a pipeline on a piece of property, things of that nature. And then second is detention ponds can qualify if they're somehow activated. I'll show you examples of those. Third is if there's existing trees that are buffered, that are in common area, that can count towards open space. And then fourth is street medians, if they're at least 12 feet wide back to curb and they're maintained. The maintenance is not the responsibility of the city, it's the homeowner association and their landscape. So
Let me jump in real quick. I want to make sure these are new subdivisions,
Yeah.
right? We're not talking about an existing infill type thing. We're talking about if Arbor builds in the PUD,
Right.
right? So, because I went down the path of, oh my gosh, this is, and then got right. So, but that's, yeah, just don't want anybody caught up on that.
So, and I pulled together examples of what does and does not qualify. So the first one was the using pipelines or things of that nature. Here's an example off of Google Earth, so I apologize for the sort of flat distortion, but there's a pipeline that goes through this common area, this greenway here. And so outside of the easement for the pipeline, like there's a dog park here, there's a park, a pavilion and things. So this would be an example of how they've incorporated the easement to be open space and be part of this trail network while doing something with it. It's not just leftover green space.
Is that space, and we're making an assumption from
Yeah.
Google Earth here, but is that just a flat field, basically the same level as the dog park and the
Yes.
playground and all that? Okay.
And that's why you see, you can't have trees within a certain distance of pipelines, so the trees are towards the edge. Things like that. So that's an example of what we're looking at, what would need to be done in order for a pipeline. If they just had homes backing into the pipeline and no one can see it, no one's doing anything with it, then I guess it has to be a benefit to the community as a whole to qualify. Let's see. Ponds. Okay, what examples of what doesn't qualify? So in both of these examples, on the left, you've got a pond that's completely surrounded by homes with nothing there. That wouldn't qualify. So you couldn't, I'm sure that pond is in the common area, but it wouldn't count towards the open space requirement because it doesn't benefit the community. Same with the image on the right. This little triangular pond stuck back in a corner that no one sees and no one even knows is there. This is what we're looking for. Something where just getting a sidewalk or a trail up along the pond where all of a sudden people can walk and enjoy the pond. Likewise, it doesn't even need to be a trail that goes all the way around. This is an example of a pond that was activated with you're looking for ways to encourage people to use the space and people can enjoy it.
So in that, let me ask that. So what, say square footage, but what area of that would qualify? The entire pond or
Yeah.
that corner of the pond?
No, the pond would count
Okay.
towards the open space requirement because you
It just gives it access.
you've got
Right.
access to the pond. This is essentially, there's benches that look out over the pond and so forth. So you get views across the pond.
So on the two that you said would not be eligible, if they did have some type of walkway around it, then those could count or should.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So if there was common area and there's a path that came across here
Right.
and back out, then yes. All of a sudden you've activated people other than the homes that directly abut the pond can benefit from that pond. Medians. What qualifies, what doesn't? This would not qualify. Skinny. Oh, points for street trees. But that would not qualify just primarily because of the width of the median. Now, something that would qualify is you can see the difference. This is, I think, 15 feet across. You've got some berming in here, a lot of landscaping, fencing, trees, and so forth. So it does the job of kind of shrinking down the feel of the street itself. So it's not a racetrack and tries to slow down cars. So that would be the situation where that would qualify as open space. You count towards that.
That would be where the HOA Karen sits.
So this is one that I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I have an argument, I guess, about it. I'm not using that space as a homeowner, right? It beautifies the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I think it also, I don't know what the word is, but slows traffic, right? It regulates traffic. But and I think that's something maybe we want to encourage to build, right? It's not unattractive at all, but I don't see it as usable open space. I don't see it as I'm going to go play catch, right, with my kid there. I'm going to go whatever, hang out with the neighbors there. So that's just as an argument for why I brought this up. I like it. I think we should encourage that kind of development.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure it's
Usable.
open space in that way.
I was thinking the same thing, because who's gonna go play,
Right.
Well, it's
we
not.
play jarts, I guess, but
It is a benefit to the community.
Agreed. 100%.
So it is benefiting the community by, one, being aesthetically pleasing, and two, by slowing traffic.
Yeah.
So while it may not have usable space in that fashion of a pond with a walking trail,
Mhm.
this is checking the boxes of being a benefit to the community.
sure.
And it's not cheap. I mean, you've got curb on both sides and so forth. So, and I think, and so what the way the ordinance is written is, if you want to encourage that, then give them a little carrot by, hey, that can count
Right.
towards the open space.
Uh-huh.
But this is where it comes
I can
down
see
to.
that.
This is
Yeah, this is-
the fun part of this, is that it really comes down to community flavor and what works for you and what is.
I will say my argument is not a hill I'm willing to die on. So if everybody else is okay with this, I'm not gonna jump up and curse at you.
You
We
must
increase to
list it up.
50%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, we'll get to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So these are the summary of that section that will qualify. So I just want to give you some images to show what the thinking was behind
Thank you.
where these come from.
That was very beneficial.
So they have a requirement for a specific amount of open space, depending on the size of development and all the things that go into it. We're saying currently 50% of that could be those medians that are beautiful, as well as detention retention ponds with a sidewalk that goes up to them or accessible. And wetlands and pipelines, which I don't really think we have any pipelines coming through here that we're going to worry about.
Yeah.
But so that was my argument was, if we're going to use all of those for up to 50% of it, the other 50% would be more open field type park areas. Is that what we want?
It's a lot.
I would think that we would want more usable spaces.
Mhm.
And so, a maximum of 25 or 33 would be a little bit more beneficial for the use of, not only for the builder, but for the community to physically use.
And again, this would be something that if we updated this to say a maximum of 30%, if a developer came and said, we're looking at 40%, based upon the the land or whatever the case may be, it's something that still can be altered for that specific development, right?
Yeah, I would argue that. So let's just say that there's some piece of property that has some strange amount of constraints because of
Mhm.
easements
Mhm.
that are there that can't really be moved or narrowed. But if they're activating that open space, like in the one image that you have the greenway, yes, there's a pipeline there, but there's also trails and other things. If they were doing something like that is meeting the intent, then I think they would fall in line and would warrant a development standards variance.
Right, yeah. So I think that, we can cautiously update that percentage, knowing that if there was some other circumstances that the developer needed to increase that number, that there would be some leniency there for future development.
Is 50% the norm?
Yeah, I mean, it varies by community, but it tends to be pretty common.
The 50% though is limited to what's in that definition on number one.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So 2, 3, and 4 are all 100%.
Yes, they can count. So the ponds
Okay.
don't count towards the 50%.
I wasn't reading it that way.
But,
Yeah.
but 2, 3, and 4, I
4
get it.
counts whether it's 50% or not.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
Mhm.
And so my question would be, I see the language, and David's the expert on the language, but it says they may qualify. So who makes the determination on whether or not it does qualify? Is that the administrator or the director at the end, or is it like in the technical review?
It'd be the administrator.
Okay,
Going through
Okay.
the review. So say someone has a pond and they throw down some mulch. They do a 2-foot wide path, mulch path that goes 10 feet into the common area, like, oh, I've activated the space. You'd say, no, that doesn't meet the intent of what this is going for.
So the way you said that, Jason, just clicked for me. Number one is really the only 50%.
Correct.
yes, sir.
Mhm.
So we don't care about street medians counting towards 50%.
Correct.
Correct.
Just was.
That's where I started. So,
Okay.
So let me,
No,
Let me-
so number one is dealing with essentially the portions of the site that have restrictions on it that you couldn't necessarily build.
it's almost unusable land for other things.
It is, yeah.
I mean, if it's a wetland, if it's a easement, you're not building.
And again, it all comes into what they do. If it's a wetland that's tucked back in a corner and doesn't provide any benefit to the community, that's one thing. If it's a wetland that's by your ponds and you've got walkways and things like that. Which is why, let's face it, they get premiums for the loss they're up in the ponds. So it's not as if ponds don't have value because they have to be provided anyway.
From a review of subdivisions, I've found that developers are pretty good about fitting where they need
Yes.
to get as much square footage as possible to build what they're trying.
As many
to.
houses as they
So
can.
As many
50%,
houses,
right. I don't think we really need as much as 50%, like I said. I think
Yeah.
we can go 25 or 33 or something,
Yep.
just to limit that. And again, if we need to change it down the line, okay, fine, but at least we have a standard.
And the
something.
verbiage is there, plain commissioner, administrator.
And this is a situation where put the percentage in that you feel is appropriate and just monitor it, see what happens. And if it ends up being a situation where, oh, we're getting a lot of requests for variances because this is okay, well, let's review it and see what,
Right.
if it needs to
Right.
be adjusted.
So I'll just throw out 30%. Do we want a different number? That's what I kind of emailed about. Anybody have strong feelings against that?
No.
Okay. Can we make that 30%, please? Okay, did anybody have any others in the ordinance itself? Before we get into maps.
The only other one that I had was in the business district. And that was, under B1, and that was the minimum lot size of 1,500. I just want to make sure that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was a typo.
Okay. Just so I knew.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there going 40 by 40.
15,000.
Yeah. No, 15,000.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, it's actually already been changed.
All right, fantastic.
Perfect.
Good catch.
Small boutiques. I mean,
Right.
okay, are we ready for the zoning map? Everybody good with that? Yep. Take your time. He's trying to read it. He doesn't have a big printer. You gotta. I thought you had to hold it out here when you get a certain age. Right there.
Well, it's PDF, you can zoom in.
So I think let's start at the north side and work our way south just for, so again, I spoke with Brian a little bit today and I've emailed a little bit about this. The county highway to garage is the north spot there, as an institutional, since it is county.
And likewise, I'll point out, these three here, in looking into that,
Yeah.
these three are a church.
Well, it used to be.
No, it's county building.
No, it's county.
Oh, is it county now?
So it
Okay,
works even
well,
better.
it's grass. Okay.
The county bought it.
Oh, okay,
So they bought the church and then the next building to the west, right?
yeah.
To the
Exactly.
east.
So those are county
To
owned.
the east.
To the, oh, to the east, okay.
The east is now the county highway administration building, and the building, the church, actual church, is a storage unit.
Yeah, yeah, because there are a couple buildings on these three parcels.
Yep.
The other one's just grass.
So right now, the map is showing the dark gray is I2, which I can change this to institutional, or IS.
Any concern, question with those? Okay, then the triangle here, this is Cicero Township Fire Department and Dog Park and solid waste.
This is on the north
Solid
side,
waste
yeah.
is the north, where the IS actually is written.
Right.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And the creek is the the wavy line between that would be the creek. So it stops right there at the edge of the property.
You want the dog park in there too?
The parcel of the fire department is the dog park
Okay.
parcel. It's one parcel. So I had the same
Yeah.
look. So, are we good with those? Okay. I'm not sure where we go next, Brian.
Let's go.
Maybe-
Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
Give me a second. It's a big file. Okay, back down over here. This is,
So if we think about the house that is north of Tractor Supply's outdoor storage area,
Red Square.
that actually has a couple units in it. So it's currently a multifamily.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
was
It
it
used to be.
is it flower
Flower
shop?
shop.
Okay.
They got a variance
Okay.
through the BZA.
Okay.
Several
So is it
Spanish
currently-
folks.
I don't know, varianced as a residential.
So the use. And so the use was for one unit. They do though want to come in. I've been speaking with them. They want to come in and seek a variance to put an additional unit. We would not, there was a fire, so they had to do a renovation. We would not allow them to proceed with splitting it into multi-unit because the approval through the BZA was for one.
Gotcha.
So it is own business, but they
So
have
if
the
we
BZA approval.
if we change this tonight to R4, they would not have to go anywhere. They're just in. Correct. Whoever I'm asking here.
If that's multifamily, then no, they wouldn't need a
Right.
variance.
Yeah.
When
So
the change makes.
when the ordinance is
Right.
passed,
Which will make him very happy.
yes. When the ordinance is finally passed by the city council, yes.
But they're
So
gonna be on hold with what,
Yes.
we aren't gonna.
He has not received approval.
he can't go build tomorrow.
Absolutely not.
So any
Okay, so you're just calling out R4 just solely for that lot because everything
Yeah.
else is business.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just like
Right.
the ag office, it's
Yes.
government office. And then
Cause they used to be business, so.
Yeah, the others are business over there.
and then we've got the other
apartments.
apartments here. You go with that change to R4?
Any disagreement to that? Okay. He'll save a few dollars.
It doesn't procedurally, it doesn't necessarily have to become our, see if I'm tracking this right, Brian. If the owner were to come in, get his variance under the existing ordinance to put his multifamily in there, then it's rezoned as business. They have a pre-existing non-conforming use that happens to be in a business use instead of a carved out R4 in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the zoning, but we're trying to have everything be in its appropriate district, so we're not dealing with the situation where you've got non-conforming uses.
Over here, more towards.
Unless you want them to be non-conforming uses intentionally. We had that situation where you got, historic industrial surrounded in the residential.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm thinking is that's part of the planning process. If you're saying, do we want a business area
With an
with
R4 in the
an
middle of it.
R4 in the middle of it, or do we want to wait that eventually they may have another remodel or fire and then it's business?
And I had that same thought, David, as far as is that going to revert to a business at someday? You know, it was, but if he's gutted it and remodeled it as a home, you know, I totally see your argument. I'm not sure.
These are questionable.
Okay. Did everybody hear David's concerns there? Are we okay leaving it R4? Do we want to keep it B2?
I think we should update it to R4 because that's
Okay.
what that's what the current owner's desire is, right?
And also it would encourage yet another living
Right,
space,
right.
right? So,
And I don't think it's out of line in the context of what's around it. It's
Okay.
If you were in the middle of, it was this speck of R4,
Yeah, across the streets,
Mhm.
single family.
but it abuts R5 next to it.
And that property does meet all the other standards for R4. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has plenty of parking.
Right.
And so,
I know you guys have one you want to talk about. Let's
Go ahead.
finish what we got on this map, and then we'll get into the others. Just two more, right? These two.
Yep, these two. Okay, this is the PUD.
Yes.
They have tagged as ag.
Yes.
Sorry, approved.
It must.
It must.
It
must.
Change to a PUD.
So that PUD is existing. It's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just codifying what's already there.
And then this is the in-dock garage, just put that in institutional instead of I-1. So,
Any concerns there?
Nope,
okay. Where to now?
north side of town,
North
to
side.
the right over there. See the red in the little gray area? The ones, all that is industrial. So
Well,
that's where
like-
Acroline is there at 19, right at Street.
Oh,
So the little spots there, them are homes. The B2 is McCormick's Printing, and the rest of that, all except for on that side of Mill Street, that's where the tool and die
Yeah, totally.
is right there on that side of Mill Street, and the rest of that is all residential.
So these two are residential and these
Mhm.
three are residential?
yeah, there are
Yep.
homes there. And then those 2 rows are
And
homes
then,
too, right?
yeah, to the right.
Those
Mhm.
2 are homes. What about those 2 lots by the
There's
parking lot?
homes right up
Those
there, yeah, on the right to where the
Okay,
square is.
Those,
Yeah,
yeah.
right there.
Are those are homes?
Them are
too?
homes too.
I'm gonna Google Maps this real quick.
Yeah. I didn't have those.
That would be our,
You didn't get up the PDF in here.
Not this one.
is that our
What
two?
are these larger squares here on Mill Street?
Park? Empty lot, maybe?
there are a lot
We,
of.
we
empty
talked
lots in
about
that
this
area.
during steering committee. One of these is a storage
I know two
unit
of them.
for community theater.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the two right on Cleveland Street are homes, ain't they?
No,
Mm,
where he was talking where the 4 squares are.
yeah.
The four square, I think,
That's
is-
not houses, right?
they're not homes out there.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I can't remember.
So the-
Because there's
honestly.
not on the right-hand side of Maple, because I'm assuming if we're talking that I-1 is Acroline,
Yes.
I will-
then in Maples, where that's coming, there's no
Maple.
houses in that first block.
Yeah, that's their parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all parking lot?
Oh, they tore them down, 622 Maple.
It would be on the left-hand side if it's,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like this is all I-1. That's
I-1.
Oh,
correct.
this is, so it's all,
Yep.
What
that
about
one?
west
all
side of
parking.
Maple?
And then
What's
that's-
that?
I-
Those are two vacant lots.
I don't remember
Fine.
It's a
the
home, I
homes.
think.
The corner of Cleveland and
there used to
Maple.
be one there.
No, this is
No,
the
it's
alley.
Alley, the corner.
Integrity sits on the west side of Maple, just south of Cleveland. There is one house there.
525 Cleveland there.
Integrity has
Yeah. It's part-
both sides of the
You
road.
keep wanting to join
Yeah,
them.
Oh, okay.
all the way to the tracks. Correct. The half
Guess I should
block
be
to
on
the
Beacon,
west
right?
there,
Mhm.
that's all residential on Oak Street. Correct. There's homes right there.
So everything
So,
behind
yeah, we definitely
McCormick
need
would
to just review
remain
what's-
industrial.
What's current.
Yeah, Integrity's got both sides of the road.
All right, so let's go through this in an orderly. Let's start at,
Yeah, let me do this.
Middle.
well, I think we should start at 19 and work
Okay.
west, because we can
Mhm.
kind of pick across there. Okay, so you ready?
I'm ready.
So the large parcel and those 4 small ones above it, north of it,
Yep.
are
Good?
are staying I.
Yeah, check mark.
Okay, then we come to Poplar Street, right? And Poplar Street actually goes through the middle of, it's not a street there, but it goes through Integrity.
Yeah.
So that row is Integrity, and the row to the west is still Integrity. Those 2 vertical columns.
These two, okay.
What about this one?
Oh, you're too far. We're not there yet.
Oh,
Okay, so
Sure.
these stay industrial?
Correct.
These two, okay.
So we're right here.
Yeah, okay. We're still there.
Yep. Maple Street will be the next, right? To get into our B2.
Yeah, because he's check marking the other side there and.
Yep. I don't,
Alley right there by on this
Yeah,
side of the
I don't-
B2,
Is that
them are.
not?
I don't think it's split the correct way in your B2
Okay.
box.
yeah, because there's.
'cause
There
there's-
is a home at 525 Cleveland Street.
Yeah,
So, just go, so this row here.
Ms. Ryan would probably appreciate that we don't.
Industrial?
Yes,
yeah.
you can
Because there's
check.
just one home up there on the very left-hand corner of that.
Not that, nope, not yet.
Not yet.
Now, what
Check
about-
that,
That one,
check that,
That one's good?
all the way, the whole column.
Oh, okay, cool.
them are
If we're
homes.
call it a column, no, it's not. There's still a parking lot. We haven't got,
Yes, we
Yeah,
have.
it's showing a home on mine.
No,
But
we're
there's
here.
Oak
My-
Street.
Right
is that-
here.
You're too far.
am I too far?
Yeah, you gotta zoom in.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's
under
Oak-
your checks. I'm sorry.
So I was right.
You were, it's not about who's right or who's wrong, Michelle.
So that.
It's actually only about who's right, who's wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Okay.
one corner.
So
Yep,
let's,
That's good.
that's good.
That's good.
Okay,
That small box, just move your cursor to the left.
that one.
Yeah,
That
one
is residential.
Sure is.
Draw from the house.
Yeah, good job.
Oh, no, I'm just gonna move it. Wow, I'm not gonna do a good job. I'm not gonna follow it.
Sorry, I went too far, guys.
Mhm. I'll say
Michelle was right.
B is Oak
I wasn't
Street.
necessarily wrong, but she was right.
It's not-
See, I don't know what you want to name these,
Well, who are those? The
because that's a house trailer, that's where the Girl Scout leader lives.
611?
And the rest of them up all the way to Cleveland or Holmes.
But
I mean, that's an empty lot between the two of them, but it's still part of,
but Integrity owns the lot that is 609.
do they?
Yes.
So this could be still I. And then would be R two,
One
one.
or R2? No, R2.
Well, I mean, even though that Integrity owns
It's
that,
still-
everything is, they could decide to sell it. I don't
Not
know
trying
that,
to
I
do
think that we
relations.
should still do that as an R.
Okay.
McCormick, I mean, or
Regardless
Custer and
of who owns it.
Suzanne.
Okay.
Not Brenda.
So,
Everything around it
so
is
everything
still R.
south of that R2
Yep.
is I1.
Chris.
Right? Agreed? That's still Integrity.
Hold on one second.
So-
And what about this?
That is also I2.
Yeah, everything but south of that.
There used to be a house there and they tore it down.
Yep. And Integrity bought that too.
So,
And Integrity, just because they own it.
Agreed. Agreed. You're right, Mike.
What's the zone on
Right now, it's under.
Oh, yeah.
And so-
it? Well, that's on, that's on, I don't know what currently is,
Should be the,
but that's what they're wanting to propose,
it'd be the bottom three of the next column. to-
Yeah.
to the
at
left.
the top one is residential.
which stay industrial.
It would say- and the Integrity would
609.
Okay.
Well,
So it looks like
that's the
these
question,
are-
right? Because I think in that next column, they own that one of those parcels,
stay-
but
on the bottom three.
they do.
No, they
Well,
don't.
two of them
No.
are Lisa Todd.
Yeah.
You got this
No, they don't.
bottom.
The bottom
Those
two
bottom
belong
two
to
are
the
gone.
Todds.
Right, so they
Yeah.
only own one over in that section.
And like Michelle says, I think that should be an all R2.
R2, yeah.
Yeah.
It goes all the way across all the way.
Yeah, that whole column right there that you're in should be R2.
Like this.
Yes.
Oh,
Everybody okay with up to there?
Yep.
Okay.
Then
We're
the
moving to
next
Oak
one,
Street.
That should stay because that's
You
in
got Tipton Theater down one.
Yeah.
Um,
Tipton Community Theater.
We're okay with B2 as it is. That's McCormick, or
Yeah, that's
Is that
McCormick.
McCormick,
Yeah.
yep.
B2 is McCormick's.
And the other little theater,
I think
community theater.
those three are owned by the
Yeah,
community
all
theater. That's
three
their
of them.
storage,
Yep.
are we okay with I1 on those?
Might as well leave it like it is. Ain't nobody living on it.
Mhm.
Isn't anyone living on
There you go.
What is it
What's that?
currently?
it. It
Community
is,
theater.
I don't have the current
Light
back with me.
Currently,
Yeah.
but-
Currently, light industrial.
Yeah, leave it.
Yeah.
What's,
We don't really have like,
Yeah,
it's a barn.
before we talk about this, what is the east side of Mill Street? Is that all residential?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's owned by McAdams.
There's zoning
And
code on the
yes,
property.
That whole,
Because
that whole lot, the whole side on that side is R2.
so this whole thing. will be
Yeah.
R2 is one of them. So I guess, do we want these 3 lots to be industrial then? If it's totally surrounded by residential? I'm wondering if the B2 just extends down.
Right.
If it, yeah, makes sense.
Because you don't want some nasty
It's in
industrial
B2.
use.
Exactly.
Right in between all of them. B2 and industrial.
Where are we at?
Right under the
The community
B2,
theater.
where the community theater storage and lots are. And we're all community
Can't
theater.
most B2 functions operate in an light industrial? If you look at your matrix,
I believe so.
I mean, there's a few, but
The other option is, since if it's just being used as essentially passive storage for the community theater, you zone those 3 lots residential as well. In that way,
If it ever does become.
something changes.
Mhm.
We've had situations before, we've got a building like that, they move out, and all of a sudden you've got somebody doing auto repair and things like that in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
Mhm.
So that's why you may want to consider residential for those.
Do residential.
Well, that one empty lot would be easy to build on, too, right there.
Yeah, and if the community theater decides that they want to go somewhere else. they
It's
don't
actually
have
not a
an
bad idea.
industrial or
A business.
Who owns it?
Right between 2 residential.
Oh,
areas.
then,
All right.
yeah,
I'm good with R2. Is anybody,
that's a better
they're not
idea.
a real institution, they're a private group.
any
Nope, it's
Other
not a
suggestion?
governmental entity.
That
It's
should
a
be
I like Mike's idea.
R to it.
R2.
interest group.
That only makes sense.
That's even more limiting.
long
That,
as that makes
that's even
sense to
more
you.
limiting to what could go there, you know? hmm
The other gray one, it's industrial.
I don't know that you want more houses
the-
built there. in
West
that
of Mill
area.
Street?
Which was the,
It's a
do you want me to
two-home.
speak?
There's tool and die, but then some of that residential.
But not.
Yeah,
there's several homes
Yeah,
there.
that's a great
Oh, yeah, there is 2 houses right there.
Yeah.
So even if there's several homes there, I think the idea behind when the initial zoning was done was that we don't want homes there. They want industrial there.
Where?
So while there are homes there,
Where are you talking? I'm sorry.
Right
That
there,
whole area.
South of the.
South of
that
Tool
whole
and Die?
area.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while there are homes there, that may not be the use that the city was looking for. So that's what you should be thinking about, not what's there right now. We're not trying to make legal non-conforming uses conform. We're trying to figure out where should certain things in the city go. So in that area, there's a lot of industrial, and I think that was done by design.
This comp plan is helpful, or would be, part of that guidance. So, yeah, that's.
I'm just some
Yeah,
point. I'm not telling you what you need to do or don't need to do. I'm just saying that
No, that's a good way to
this
think
isn't
it.
about making a zoning map that turns legal non-conforming uses into conforming uses. It's just about where, as in the city, where do we want things? And so that is where a lot of industrial is right now. And so I think the idea is that eventually the houses will go away. The
Especially because
vacant
there are
properties will be
businesses there,
sold or they'll
too,
be
but
whatever.
those businesses would through natural tuition just purchase those.
Okay,
Right.
So, yeah, so that's the
That
train,
white
that's the
bit
train
is
tracks
a
there.
train track.
That explains the industrial, okay.
Mhm.
So you have the.
So that's just something to keep in mind. I know there's this natural desire to make everything fit the way it's supposed to, but I think the idea was that eventually those houses go away and the industrial
Dang you,
or
Judy.
the business takes over.
We were almost done.
So do we want to leave them all industrial? The whole
That-
setup?
Just erase everything.
Because the one that's on this side of Mill Street, that's where.
You think McCormick should be industrial? Does it fit under the printing?
They can keep doing business there. And if you look,
Say that again, David.
I'm,
Well, he's talking about taking the, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, look, you had me on a roll here. You get me going and.
No.
Go ahead, David. I
You
apologize.
haven't gotten it back to industrial yet.
It could be too industrial too. if
I
you're
was, I was suggesting that McCormick's could be industrial if you look at the, because there are very few things that are permitted in a B2 that are not also permitted in light
And
industrial.
McCormick's is growing, so as well too.
And then you don't have that, just that little chunk,
Yep.
you know.
I think we ought to erase all the
So-
lines.
I mean, the main
Yeah.
difference of how they're operating is
Which
Really, you're gonna have some customers coming
Now that she puts it that way,
Yeah.
I just think, I think you need to do away with these guys' suggestions.
Wow.
And then change
Is that you,
the
Rich?
two to I1.
You agree? Okay.
And
Rich
change
always
all
agrees with me.
All
Yes.
right. So just close it and don't hit save.
No, he's gotta make
Oh,
the
yeah.
correction for B2.
That's right.
Because, right, it's just B2.
Just a question on
Yes.
my own,
Uh-huh.
because don't understand all of it, but like, will they, if there were differences,
I
if
wasn't
it's changed
thinking
while they're
in that
here, are
line
they
at
like
all.
grandfathered into it?
Say that again.
I was not thinking.
Yeah,
in
so
that
like,
line.
No, I wasn't
he's
at all.
not gonna go throwing people out of their
That was
houses.
currently
or-
there.
Right.
That makes total sense.
Yep.
So
We want to guide
they're
where
not
it should
breaking
go.
any rules. They're just not conforming.
It's a land,
Especially with the railroad track right there.
Yep.
Because, I
Yep.
mean, it's like,
No, it's a land.
Everybody okay
the
with
plan's gotta-
undoing what we just did? Mike, you gotta.
You should have waited just 2 more
You
months.
gotta look on your face.
Well, I'm sitting here, I'm like,
Yeah.
It's your plan, so.
I'm not so sure that.
Yep, they've been there
For- yeah.
since before that was zoned.
I mean, the tool and
Yeah,
dock
you're
place has
making
been
the
there for a
city
very long time.
Where
Yeah,
you
but-
think things should
And
be
so is
now.
them houses
where they
right there on the
actually
south
are.
side.
Yeah.
They've been there for
It's a
a
great way
really long
To
time.
think about it though.
I
Thank
mean, they're
you for
getting to
bringing
that
that
age.
up.
Matter of fact, one of them I thought used to be a trailer. Maybe not.
Trailer on Mill Street.
Yeah, I was
Up
thinking,
there.
So we think that this is gonna change?
well,
So it's
Say that again.
been there the whole time that way. We think it is keeping it as light industrial, that at some point it will become light industrial.
because we're gonna go in there and kick them out.
Is it okay, Mr.
I
Benjamin?
don't know.
Well, and the mobile home shouldn't, not that they shouldn't be there, but they're legal non-conforming
Right.
anyway.
You can't
So
replace
those
them.
cannot be replaced.
Right.
Mhm.
You can't bring a new one in, you can't whatever. When they go away, they just go away without BZA approval because they're already not permitted
Right.
in anywhere
Within
except a mobile home park. And there are multiple mobile homes throughout there.
Mm-hmm.
But those with time will disappear and
There's still up quite a few, but they're going away, little at a way.
And people can also remember, they can also, if someone owns one of these parcels that's vacant, they can also come in and seek a variance through the BZA if they absolutely have to put a house there. And that's up to the BZA
There.
to decide.
All I want.
But there's always that path.
So we actually made McCormick's B2 during steering committee.
Yep.
So,
It's
so
al-
just,
It's already I.
just for context, it currently McCormick says I1.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
So B2 doesn't need to be B2, it needs to be.
I1.
It is.
That's what-
it is
that's what-
currently.
Right.
That's what
So
his
we're just
little,
gonna change that now.
whatever that is.
It is.
Is that what it is?
I couldn't actually.
Sure.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah. mhm.
On the what maps?
Land map.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay. Are we okay with this now? Mike, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody else? Any others?
We ain't even going there.
All right. Any other discussion on the UDO or the map?
Nope.
So the next question is, what do we want to do with this? We can make a favorable recommendation, a non-favorable recommendation, no recommendation, or we can keep talking.
We need to set it for a public hearing.
That's right. I'm sorry. We got to set for a public hearing first. I'm sorry.
So January 15th.
Oh,
Trying here.
and, yeah, so.
With having that, the changes made, let's just spell it out.
Mhm.
The changes need to be updated or the made and updated, and that is what would be presented
Yes.
at the public hearing.
Yeah.
The
So
updated
here's-
version after
Yes.
all of our.
Yeah.
So here's what I recommend. So just for clarity's sake, we'll update the map. So we're looking at the same map, just because I can,
Mhm.
that's a big visual thing you have to see. So we'll update the map. I would suggest the UDO stays the same, given that our errata sheet is very minor.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be the UDO with the errata sheet, and that's what we'll be taking action on. And that way we clean it all up when we do our final, do all the hyperlinking and everything else.
So Currently, we do not have a schedule for January. That's what we're going to consider next. But if we wanted to, we could advertise for a public hearing at our next scheduled meeting, which then later we would vote to have a scheduled meeting on whatever date we chose, whether it's the schedule or not.
Well, and the schedule that you're presented with does have the 15th
January.
as your
Yes,
next.
yes. That's why.
So
these
it
dates
does
are on there.
work.
Yes.
So, no, I plug in the 15th, which is their next
Yeah.
expected meeting. And so then, if we have the public hearing that night and do a recommendation vote.
Yep.
Yeah. You make the planning commission makes a recommendation vote, it's certified and sent forward to the city council. They look at it January 26th for the first meeting. We'll do a presentation, do Q&A, and then February 9th is for the second reading for the city council.
And not to throw anything else in there, but I'm going to, because why not? You can also set for a special meeting. Depending on, I'm not sure what the city schedule is for the city council meetings. If that would maybe get it to city council a little bit earlier, but that's up to you. That's also an option.
There is a city council meeting on the 12th. I believe that's first of the year. That's the first one of the year.
I'm gonna object to making any special meetings, especially during the holiday season.
Amen.
Understood. Okay.
I don't even wanna look at my calendar to see if I have time.
Well, let me ask this. Would anybody make a motion to have a public hearing on the 15th?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor of having a public hearing on the UDO on the 15th? Oh, excuse me?
Do you want to say
David,
something?
you guys.
I just had one,
I didn't hear.
I mean, it's not going to be the hearing, but we need to consider also, we need to have those physical copies available theoretically for the public to inspect. And, you know, with changing in the office, we need to address that also, so that when we do the notice.
So that they're available
we can
as
tell
of the
public where to
notice.
find them.
Okay.
Because-
And I will say, I believe, Ms. Mayor, this would be on your staff to notice it and have all that together. Okay.
In the map on the UDO are on the website now. The city is updating its website. It's planned on being January
Right,
1.
but
And it'll have, yeah, and so we have the physical copies as well.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's
so
all.
make sure that helps.
Yeah, I know you're going to do that. It's just,
You gotta say,
we don't want to miss that
Yep.
opportunity to.
and I'll say, we're gonna have a public hearing on the amendments we've made tonight, on that. So all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we will have a public hearing, on January 15th. All right, new business. We do have a proposed schedule in front of us. Judy and I worked on this a little bit, mostly Judy, all Judy except for one correction. Thanks, Joe. Any concerns, questions on this? It's pretty standard. There is a September, we skip a week in September just because of the Pork Festival. It's really bad to have a meeting with all those people out there. So we can approve this or not, but if we do not approve this, we do need to at least approve a meeting on January 15th, since we've already said we're going to have a public hearing.
I make a motion to approve the City of Tifton's Plan Commission calendar for 2026.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's our calendar for 2026. All right. Do we have any public comment?
Can we ask the mayor a couple of questions since he's here?
We've caused a lot of confusion, so.
It's time to pay back for when we come up.
Thank you so much for attending, Mayor Keegan Smither. I think that we have some confusion for our board here of what's happening in 2026. Specifically for me, because I do liaison to the county and I have not had any marching orders or any direction on what that looks like come January, or even the liaison, Jason Henderson, coming from the county over. And I am glad to see that we do have a calendar for our meetings as well. So that was one of the major concerns that I had too. And the transition of what's happening. I think we've had I apologize, but a little bit lack of communication when it comes to the changes that we're having here, specifically when it did come to the UDO as well. So not to put you on the spot, but put you on the spot since you are here. I would love to hear from you what the anticipation is for 2026 when it comes to this board and how it's going to interact with the county as well, and with the staffing when we come to our January 15th meeting. What's our staffing going to look like? And because we lean on these people, we make these decisions and we use our staff to help educate us and ensure that we're making educated decisions on behalf of our communities that we serve.
I'll try to answer as much as possible, and please repeat your questions
Okay.
if I missed them. But so we had our regularly scheduled meeting with HWC just past week actually to discuss this transition period. So what we're working on this month, and I'll pull Brian in when I need his assistance. Largely it's the documentation, the administrative piece of it. So we're going through and working on digitizing our applications and then working on the process. As we get into the new year, in the very short term, HWC will be providing much of the on-staff support for the Planning Commission. We're working to finalize the job description for the zoning administrator. They will be a full-time paid staff member of the city's new planning department. They, along with code enforcement, so there'll be 2 full-time paid staff members on site available to the community. The expectation is to keep HWC, at least from my perspective, on some type of retainer for the duration of 2026. So a lot of that is not only from the expertise, clearly you guys have seen the sophistication that they have brought to this process, but also from an education perspective. The zoning administrator is going to need assistance. Code enforcement is going to need some assistance. We're pleased to hear the transition led by Judy and Jason. And I think Michael's been part of that. That's been really great with Paige Cunningham filling into this new role of code enforcement. So we're going to rely on HWC to provide some of that expertise, education. I don't want to say they're going to work themselves out of a job in 26, but the expectation is they're going to be here for the duration of 2026 in these meetings, helping to facilitate those conversations. So you will rest assured you will have the support you need. Maybe not quite to the extent of Judy, but they will be here to help provide the staff reports. If we do have site plans or presentations for you all, they'll lead those for the Planning Commission.
So you said 2 full-time employees?
Correct. The zoning administrator and the code enforcement.
But the code enforcement is part of the city, the lady,
Paige.
yeah.
She moves to the planning department.
Okay.
So you already had some code enforcement activities, so she's going to absorb the remainder of those
Okay.
and then transition to the planning department.
Okay. So then there's really truly just one hire.
Correct.
So, but and then Paige is still going to continue her duties that she currently does with the
Like
school.
Bus, yes, correct. So we adjusted her work schedule. She'll come in a half hour early than most of us in this building to accommodate for that.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
So just from a mechanical perspective there, you are going to take care of advertising for our next meeting, our
Right.
public hearing. You're going to coordinate and have, I'm hoping, and I'm happy to help too, as far as an agenda and, a plan, right?
Yeah, that'll be part of the.
Judy does all that. I don't know what she does, but it shows up in my inbox and it's awesome, right?
Right.
So, whatever we got to do there, it's all in the works. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, we talked about logistically from an email perspective. What is the email specifically? The phone number. How is that information communicated? So we talked into the weeds and fair point, and take that responsibility that we'll be communicating that as we find some answers. Again, we met this week. So we'll communicate those more specifically to you all, certainly, and then the expectation is from the community perspective too. As we get the new website up, all that information will be readily available.
We do have 2 people expiring at the end of the year.
Michael and Jackie.
Okay, you're aware. That's with this board, sometimes a quorum is tough.
Sure.
So anything you can do to make sure we got 2 more people
Yeah,
on January 15th.
And what's going to happen to
Great
these?
point.
What's going to happen to Michelle and Jason?
It stays the same. As long as there's a jurisdictional fringe, and even if there wasn't, there would still be that interplay of a non-voting official or an ex-officio member that would be on there to discuss those types of
Yeah,
things.
Michelle actually serves as a mayor's appointment, but she is
The
liaison
liaison.
to.
She goes
yeah,
to the county.
Jason's-
I get it.
Jason's role on the county side.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, okay, I guess I didn't realize that Jackie and Michael were coming off at this is your last meeting for the year.
Mhm.
Are you, and then who appointed you?
They're both mayor appointments.
They're both your
Mhm.
appointments too?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you already ask them if they're gonna stay?
No, not yet. That is the expectation of. The
Call
expectation-
him out. Get him up
Got that right out there.
Of course, the mayor already knows that these people serve until they are reappointed.
Well,
or something
suppose-
else.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Mike, they can be on there.
I mean, it's not the
That's for sure.
easiest job to appoint members to either this board or the BZA. We do understand that you can bring on BZA appointments.
Yeah,
too.
correct.
I think we're,
And
I think we're still
I
short
would-
one, ain't we?
Yes.
Yes.
I would echo they're very
Yes.
valuable to us here. So
Yeah, and that was actually, after we learned composition and such, I think my primary, because there is so much changing, to preserve the composition of members from the mayor's appointment perspective as much as possible. So if Jackie and Michael want to conference after the meeting to confirm whether you want to continue, it would be my interest to preserve their membership for the continuity, right?
Mhm.
They've been valuable members tonight and previous, so certainly you guys are additions to the board.
Wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
yes,
Good addition.
And excellent attendance.
absolutely,
Even better.
absolutely.
Unlike my
All right.
Let's see.
More?
Is that- I don't know.
I'm good.
I think so.
I think that was all of them. I think you got. Yeah, there's a plan, right? We're going to continue with the same people up here and the same people out here for at least to start, right? So
We got some administrative logistic things to answer, and then the plan is like next week to send out some formal communication on
Okay.
who are the people, what are the hours, communication channels, what will be the expectations to start January 1. So that's sort of our plan as we came out of Tuesday's meeting.
Okay. If there's anything in the future that you're going to be transitioning, I would just preempt that with please communicate a lot sooner with the people that are in these positions, because we're running blind,
Sure.
and the what ifs of what's happening was out there. So the communication piece, even if you don't have any information, sometimes that is
Sure.
even
Communication of that.
right. So just shooting an email to us would have been great to say these are the things that are on the horizon. I may not have answers for you right away, but as they come in, you would provide that to members just for if there is any transition happening in the future. It would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
But yeah, again, thank you so much for attending tonight. We really do appreciate seeing you at our meetings. It does, to me, it is nice to see you here, just for support as well. I'm done talking.
anyone else?
Yes, before we adjourn, I would like to acknowledge the fact that, at least on the county side, Judith and Michael and all her staff has met with Paige. They actually have a meeting with her again tomorrow, just to see if there's any follow-up questions, but, she's committed and, is gonna be a professional and continue to help and interact with Paige after January 1st. She's made that clear. And it's not as though that just because that separates that the county isn't still involved. You see on the UDO, the surveyor has his hands all over the UDO, and Judy is the floodplain administrator until something different changes. So there's always going to be that continued relationship. But again, it's impacted Judy's office and the city more than it really impacts us. But they're continuing to assist and will continue to assist until they get on their feet. And then even after that, they'll still be so. But Judy and them have done a good job on that part. So.
And I'll say, just as we're closing this, this is really the last meeting of this
Yep.
this type of meeting. Thank you, Judy and David and Michael and I mean, I came into this like a fireball a few years ago, and and you dealt with me well, and we're nothing but professional the whole time. So and then when I got here, it was even more so, right? You helped me out when I needed help and steered me the right way when I needed to be steered. So I appreciate it, and I thank you guys both, and everybody else that's helped.
She's definitely a book of
Aw.
information.
That's right.
Thank
That's right.
you.
She'd be great with for sure.
I'll miss you guys too.
Come
you
on
still come
over.
see me?
Yeah.
Well, not you.
We'll see.
Unless I need something fixed.
That's got a history to it, sounds like.
Where's your cake?
I know. Where's my cake?
Well, you're gonna get it in the face now.
No, you guys have been great. Really,
Whatever.
really.
Well,
All right. Do we have
It's
any?
being recorded and somebody's gonna watch me, my cheers. That's cool.
I'll still see you
No.
at the county, and you can come in. I always have fresh coffee. It's delicious.
All right, Ms. Michelle, I think you're up for your last time.
To adjourn.
Yes.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Ashley.
Both of you do, actually. Tonight?
I got a truck.
Just finishing up. We've been going through a lot of stuff.
And
County here.
$3 billion.